Ladies and gentlemen, power is not what you show, power is what you withhold. You were taught that to lead you must be loud, that to win you must shout, chase, announce. But I will tell you the truth. Noise is the currency of the desperate. Silence is the weapon of those who already own the battlefield. Let them speak, let them post, let them panic. While they drown in their performance, you will sit still, calculating, not out of fear, but because you know. Every time you speak, you reveal. Every time you react, you shrink. You will not explain yourself. You will not justify your ambition. You will not beg for acceptance, because your silence is not absence. It is strategy. You are not meant to be seen, you are meant to be felt. Without ever needing to declare your presence, you will treat strategy as your religion, not a trick, not a shortcut, but a sacred discipline. You will think 5 moves ahead while they're trapped in emotion. You will master timing, delay, detachment, precision, because what the world fears most is the person who is immune to panic, the one who can wait and then strike once flawlessly. There will be moments when you vanish. They will forget you, good, because when you reappear, you will be undeniable. Remember this: the lion never roars when it hunts, it stalks in silence and dominates without warning. Be the lion, be the silence. Be the strategy. The world does not belong to the loudest voice. It belongs to the one who moves in shadows and shapes history from them. Silence is not weakness. It is the quiet before the strike. Power is never announced. The most dangerous minds speak less, observe more, and act when the world is least ready. We live in an age where noise is mistaken for influence. The loudest voices dominate timelines, boardrooms, and battlefields of attention. But this is not true power, it is performance. Real power is subtle, calculated, patient. It does not seek validation. It does not beg to be seen. It waits, it listens, it watches, and then, without warning, it moves. Those who are truly dangerous do not advertise their danger. Their strength lies in their restraint. They do not need to declare what they are capable of, because when the time comes, they demonstrate it so decisively that no one can deny it. Their silence is not emptiness. It is preparation. It is observation. It is the stillness of the hawk before the dive, the pause before the explosion. In warfare, in politics, in business, in life, this principle is universal. The greatest strategies are executed when no one sees them coming. History is not shaped by the ones who speak the most, but by those who move at the right moment. To move without warning is to catch your opponent unbalanced. To strike without signaling is to ensure no defense has been prepared. Silence creates uncertainty in others. When you do not explain your intentions, people begin to guess. They project their fears. They underestimate or overestimate you. Either way, you gain control. Mystery is a form of leverage. The less they know about you, the more powerful you become in their mind. Power is not in being seen, it is in being felt. Those who must constantly speak are often seeking approval, trying to convince the world of a strength they have not yet proven. But the most effective minds are already convinced. They don't chase applause, they chase results. They do not need to speak because their work, their actions, their timing speak louder than any boast ever could. The world mistakes silence for softness, inexperience, or irrelevance. But this is a fatal error. Because the silent one is often the strategist, the architect, the tactician, while others are reacting emotionally, the silent mind is laying a trap, building pressure, preparing for the perfect moment when everything falls into place with precision. So train yourself to value silence, not just outward silence, but inner stillness. In a chaotic world, it is your edge. It is what allows you to think clearly while others are ruled by impulse. Let them speak. Let them rant. Let them reveal their weaknesses. You will speak when it matters, once with force, with clarity, with impact. And when you do, the silence that came before it will make your strike feel like destiny. Every word you speak is ammunition spent. Hold your fire. Talkers reveal intentions, strategists conceal theirs. Master the art of saying nothing until your move is irreversible. In the arena of power, every word is a weapon. But like any weapon, once used, it cannot be recalled. Speech exposes your thoughts, your angles, your desires, and in the wrong hands, that exposure is a blueprint for your defeat. The wise do not waste ammunition on noise. They measure every word, every glance, every silence, because they understand that the greatest victories come from the unknown, not the obvious. Most people speak to be heard, but in doing so, they invite scrutiny. They reveal their strategies before they are strong enough to defend them. They fall in love with their own voice and forget that every declaration is a disclosure. They tell the world what they're building before the foundation is even secure. And when opposition comes, they are unprepared, not because they were wrong, but because they were premature. True strategists understand the power of silence, not the absence of thought, but the discipline of restraint. They know that information is currency, and whoever controls the flow holds the upper hand. To speak too soon is to forfeit control. To stay silent is to retain power. It is the art of concealment, of letting the world see only what you allow when you allow it. There is a reason the most dangerous moves in chess are made after long silences. Calculation is quiet, observation is quiet, preparation is quiet, and when the move is made, it is sudden, complete, and irreversible. There is no warning, there is no retreat, only execution. This is not cowardice. It is control. It is the ability to delay gratification, to resist the ego's urge to declare itself. When you hold your fire, you build suspense. You create uncertainty. You force others to react to what they don't understand. And while they're guessing, doubting, and hesitating, you're building momentum in silence. Words have weight, but in the wrong moment, they lose all meaning. Learn to speak only when the move cannot be undone, when your position is so solid, so certain, that no counterattack can reverse your advance. Let your actions be your first argument. Let your results be your only reply. You must think like a shadow, always present, never grasped. Your silence must not be emptiness, but tension, a coiled force, waiting, a signal that something is coming, but never saying what or when. This is psychological warfare. This is the slow tightening of pressure until your opponent collapses under the strain of not knowing. To speak is to spend. So spend only when the outcome is secured, when the war has already been won behind the curtain. Let others waste their fire on noise. You will wait, hold, and strike when the silence becomes unbearable and the outcome inevitable. Let others crave attention. You are building an empire in the shadows. Influence is not loud, it is layered. The most lasting power is grown slowly, invisibly, until it becomes undeniable. In a world addicted to visibility, your invisibility becomes a secret weapon. While others chase followers, applause, and headlines, you build quietly, piece by piece, move by move. Not for validation, but for longevity. Not to be seen for a moment, but to shape what is seen forever. You are not here to perform, you are here to construct something that outlives noise. Attention is addictive. It gives a temporary high, but in the pursuit of being seen, people often abandon depth for speed, substance for spectacle. Their rise is fast, and so is their fall. You, however, choose the long game. You understand that true empires are not declared, they are discovered. By the time the world notices what you've created, it's already too late for them to stop it. You must learn to value the shadows, not as a place of weakness, but as a place of power. That is where discipline thrives. That is where foundations are laid. What the public sees is only the tip of the iceberg. What matters is what lies beneath. The nights spent in silence, the strategies nobody understood, the sacrifices that left no audience clapping, only results accumulating. Your power grows like roots, invisible, intertwined, patient. It draws strength from places no one thinks to look. Others are building brands, you are building legacy. Others are broadcasting, you are blueprinting. The difference is not in speed, but in sustainability. The world mistakes visibility for influence, but the loudest are rarely the strongest. They reveal too much too soon. They spend their energy trying to prove their worth. You, on the other hand, prove nothing. You let results speak. When you do emerge, it will not be for attention, it will be to shift the landscape. Never measure your progress by the reactions of the crowd. That crowd is fickle. It will applaud today and forget you tomorrow. Measure your progress by the depth of your discipline, the precision of your planning, and the silence of your resolve. You are not chasing moments. You are building permanence. The empire you are creating is not built with noise. It is built with quiet decisions, lonely discipline, and invisible mastery. The world will try to rush you. It will try to distract you. Let them run toward the spotlight while you move through corridors they don't even know exist. Because the most dangerous force is not the one shouting. It's the one you never saw coming. And when the foundation is complete, when the timing is perfect, when the moment is yours, you won't need to speak at all. The empire will speak for you. Strategy is your true faith. Believe in nothing but the long game. The impatient perish. True power lies in mastering delay, crafting moves across months, years, even decades. Power belongs not to those who move fast, but to those who move with purpose. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, your discipline to wait, to plot, to delay is not a weakness. It is your edge. The impatient reveal their desperation. They rush to outcomes before the foundations are stable. They crave quick rewards and shallow victories. But you, if you are to rise truly, you must think in timeframes the average mind cannot fathom. Every great empire was built brick by brick, day by day. There was no applause in the beginning, no recognition, only design, silence, and commitment to a vision others could not yet see. Strategy is your belief system. It is not a single move, it is the symphony of hundreds of moves, timed, connected, deliberate. It is not faith in luck, but in architecture. In the long game, nothing is wasted, not even failure, not even pain. Everything is information. Everything can be weaponized if you are patient enough to see the full board. The long game is lonely. While others sprint ahead for visible gains, you are calculating. While they celebrate minor victories, you are constructing something indestructible. Let them mock your silence. Let them question your absence. You are not here for the moment. You are here to own the era. Most people panic when things don't move quickly. But speed without structure is suicide. The ones who last are those who know when to move, when to wait, and when to strike. The long game is not passive. It's the most active form of dominance because it demands restraint, emotional control, and the ability to play weak while growing stronger. Mastering delay is the mark of a true strategist. You must learn to be comfortable in seasons where there is no reward. You must embrace being overlooked. You must study while others celebrate. You must stay silent when your instincts scream for recognition. That is when your power is forged, not when things go well, but when things go unnoticed. Never allow urgency to hijack your purpose. Reaction is for the weak, precision is for the powerful. A single well-timed move prepared over years can shatter a system, shift a market, change a nation. That is the weapon of the long game. It does not demand attention, it demands results. And when those results come, they arrive like inevitability. You must believe in your plan more than you believe in applause. Your faith is not in noise, it's in the blueprint. Strategy is your compass, your anchor, your doctrine. Build in silence, endure the stretch of time. And when the world finally looks your way, they will realize this was never luck, it was never noise. It was inevitability sculpted through time, powered by patience, ruled by design. Emotion is your enemy, detachment is your advantage, reaction is slavery. Stillness is control. Study the battlefield without attachment, and you'll always see the hidden play. In the world of power, the most dangerous habit is to feel too much. Emotion clouds perception. It distorts decisions, bends strategy, and makes slaves out of even the most brilliant minds. You cannot control the game if you are being controlled by what you feel. Anger, ego, fear, even hope. These are tools used against you. The moment you react, you surrender. The moment you take something personally, you've already lost sight of the broader map. To operate at the highest level, you must become emotionally invisible, not lifeless, just untouchable. You don't allow offense to define your choices or praise to shape your path. You observe without being pulled in. You hear everything but respond to nothing until it's time to move. This is not coldness, this is control. Detachment is how you read a situation as it truly is, not as you wish it to be. Most people walk onto the battlefield with emotion first. Their pride bleeds into every decision. Their need to be seen, validated, or respected clouds their vision. But strategy is not a game for the passionate, it is a game for the precise. Detachment allows you to zoom out, to view events from the top down. It is in this higher vantage point that patterns emerge, motives become clear, and manipulation fails. You do not argue with fools, you do not flinch at insults. You do not rush into battles triggered by emotion. Why? Because emotion is noise, and your mission is signal. Reaction is the chain that binds you to someone else's strategy. Stillness is the blade that cuts you free. The world will try to provoke you. That is how it tests your discipline. You must not give them the satisfaction of seeing you moved. Hold your composure like armor, show no cracks. Even when chaos erupts around you, be the one who remains calm, calculating, composed. The most powerful presence in any room is not the loudest. It is the one whose silence unnerves everyone else. To detach is not to disengage, it is to focus. It is to cut emotion out of the equation so the real data, the real angles, and the real plays can emerge. When others are emotional, they are blind. When you are detached, you see everything. Remember, empires have crumbled because leaders acted from vengeance, pride, or panic. You will not make that mistake. You will act from position, from power, from patience. When the time comes to strike, it will not be emotional. It will be surgical. Let the world feel, you will think. Let them react, you will prepare. And when all the smoke clears, the ones who remain still will be the only ones left standing, unshaken, unburned, and undefeated. Your silence forces others to fill the void with fear, projection, and mistakes. Mystery makes you larger than life. The less they know, the more they imagine, and they will always imagine worse. Silence is a weapon in the psychological war of influence. When you speak, you give form to your thoughts. But when you withhold, you allow the imagination of others to do your work for you. Humans fear what they cannot define. When you remain silent, people begin to project. They assign intentions, motives, and power to your stillness. And what they project is often more threatening, more cunning, and more dangerous than anything you could have said. Power is not just in presence, it's in perception, and perception thrives on mystery. You do not need to broadcast your every move, your every goal. In fact, the more you reveal, the less formidable you become. The unknown creates pressure, it creates doubt. People become unsure of how to approach you, how to predict you, how to prepare for you, and in that confusion, they make errors, strategic ones, emotional ones. The kind you can exploit. A mysterious figure lives in the minds of others rent-free. You are not just who you are, you become what others fear you might be. You become their worst-case scenario. Silence gives you the power to shape reality without action. When your enemies can't read your play, they hesitate, and hesitation is defeat in slow motion. Most people rush to explain themselves. They crave understanding, but the hunger to be understood is often a trap. When people understand you too well, they learn how to manipulate you, oppose you, or disarm you. Your silence denies them that blueprint. It forces them to guess, and guessing leads to paranoia. Think of the most legendary figures in history. Their reputations were often inflated by silence. The less people saw, the more they believed. The mystique became larger than the man. Napoleon said, "Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake." But silence doesn't just allow mistakes, it creates them. It unnerves, it intimidates, it causes people to talk too much, act too soon, or retreat when there's no threat at all. Mystery also protects your energy. You do not waste breath defending your name or intentions. Let others write their own narrative. Your job is not to correct, it is to construct. In silence, you gain time, space, and clarity. While others are entangled in emotional exchanges, you are free to observe, refine, and strike when the timing is right. In every room, the one who says the least often controls the most. They make people lean in, listen harder, second-guess themselves. Your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting back the insecurities of others. And in that mirror, they see their own fears, not your truth. So speak when necessary, but never explain unnecessarily. Let your silence draw the lines others are too impatient to read. The less they know, the more powerful you become. And the more they imagine, the more they prepare for shadows, while the real threat waits calmly in the dark. When you move with precision. Let it seem like fate, not effort. A master strategist does not appear busy. He appears destined, every act a conclusion, never a negotiation. Power is not in motion, it's in measured motion. The truly powerful do not act often, but when they do, it's with such clarity, impact, and timing that it seems inevitable. Their actions are not announcements, they are declarations, not loud, not frantic, just final. The illusion of effortlessness is part of the power. People believe you were always meant to succeed when you make it look like destiny. The world is filled with noise, people rushing, reacting, constantly adjusting their path, looking busy to appear important. But busyness is not mastery. It is distraction disguised as ambition. The master strategist does not hustle for attention. He works in silence, observing patterns, studying weakness, aligning timing. He moves only when everything is in place, never before, never just to be seen. True strategy is about restraint. Precision is the art of waiting for the exact moment when the odds are tilted, the opponent is unaware, and the field is ripe. When you strike then, your action doesn't feel like effort, it feels like nature. As if it was always going to happen that way, and that is where power resides, not just in the result, but in the perception that you were always in control. To the outside world, your movement must feel inevitable. That's what makes it undeniable. You don't ask for permission, you don't enter with explanation, you arrive with authority, and every step is placed like it was drawn from a map only you could see. There is no confusion, no hesitation, only direction. People respect what they cannot predict but must accept. That is what precision creates. It doesn't just get results. It produces silence in your opposition. They don't know when you'll move again or how or why, but they know it will matter. That uncertainty is a weapon. Use it. Every act you take should feel like a conclusion, like the end of a chapter no one else even realized had begun. You don't act to prove anything, you act to complete something already decided. That's why you don't negotiate. The powerful don't beg, plead, or seek approval. They execute. The more precise you are, the less you need to repeat yourself. One decisive move can silence 1,000 arguments. One flawless decision can reset an entire room. That is the power of timing married to discipline. Let others chase momentum, you chase alignment. When your values, your timing, your knowledge, and your silence all align, then you move. And when you do, it will feel less like a decision and more like gravity, something that could not be stopped because it was never truly up for debate. That is how you make your presence feel like fate. That is how you become untouchable, not by rushing, but by arriving exactly when it matters most. Disappear when necessary, reappear with dominance. Power is cyclic. Withdraw to evolve. Return when your presence shifts the balance of the game. Power is not constant visibility, it is calculated presence. The strongest forces in nature, tides, storms, seasons, come and go with precision, so must you. There is strength in withdrawal, in choosing to step back not because you are defeated, but because you are refining. True mastery is knowing when to retreat, not as surrender but as strategy. Disappearance creates tension. When you are always present, your impact is diluted, but when you step away, the silence sharpens your absence. The world notices what it once took for granted. Your absence becomes presence. It becomes a question mark, a disturbance, a reminder of what they lost and what may return, stronger, sharper, untouchable. In this age of constant exposure, to vanish is rebellion, while others drown in the need to be seen, to be relevant, to be liked. You go dark not out of fear but out of focus. You do not waste your energy performing. You conserve it, transform it, reforge it in solitude. You evolve without audience, because evolution does not require applause. It requires discipline. Disappearance is not inactivity, it is investment. It's the sacred phase where strength is built in silence. This is where your next move is born, your next advantage shaped, your next impact designed, and when you re-enter, you do not return as you were. You return transformed, with weight, with clarity, with the power to shift the momentum in a single move. Dominance is not about being everywhere, it's about arriving precisely when your presence is impossible to ignore. The timing of your return is as important as your absence. You wait until the noise has settled, until your competition has misstepped, until the cracks in the system are wide enough for one calculated entry to change everything. That is when you appear, not with explanation, but with execution. No announcements, no warnings, just results. That is dominance, to return and be so undeniable that no one dares question where you've been, only what you will do next. Power is not linear, it is cyclic. Those who cling to constant exposure burn out, but those who understand the rhythm of withdrawal and reappearance command fear and fascination. They control the tempo. They dictate the flow. They disappear when the world becomes too noisy, and return when the silence becomes unbearable. So do not be afraid to vanish. Let them forget you. Let them think you've lost momentum. Let them fill in the blanks, and then, when your preparation is complete, emerge with such force that it alters the game. You are not here for attention, you are here for effect. Step back when needed. Step in when ready, and when you do return, do not just participate, dominate.